Somebody call a doctor because bad medicine is back. Over there is Diamond Dave Damone. I'm Mason Quinn. Folks, the time has arrived. We are checking out Daryl Dixon, Season 2, The Book of Carol, Episode 1. That is a mouthful. We are both very excited for this season, and I cannot wait to dive back in to see what kind of trouble Daryl is going to be in.
Yes, folks, we are back. The Walking Dead is back with two of our favorites. Finally, Carol is getting back to Daryl. Yes, that rhymed. And folks, if you're wondering where the Oak is somewhere on the East Coast. He will eventually join us. He'll have to play catch up on episode 1, but he will be here. So with all that being said, it's about time it's back. Let's go! Daryl having to come to save the day. Look at the little man go.
Oh, it's training. Okay.
We got one more.
Thinking we were picking right up.
Yeah.
Never back up.
I'll never be as good as you.
It's only been 2 weeks.
Okay, it's 2 weeks since we last seen them together.
I can't believe they still had souls.
You miss him, huh?
Yeah, but I like it here. Home is wherever the people you love are.
That's true.
Laurent, t'es en retard pour ton cours de philo.
Je suis obligée d'y aller.
Losang insiste. Losang would like to speak with you.
All right.
We've received a troubling report from Paris. Our camp, which was being rebuilt, was raided by Pouvoir, and 3 of our people were captured.
Martin Fournier, Fallou and Emile Thibault.
Emile is my friend.
Genet will use them in hopes of locating us here.
Do they know our precise location?
But we can't be certain.
Mathis, your scouts are on the way?
I hope to have a report soon.
We have to save them.
Oh, here we go.
We need to be patient.
Patience won't work.
It won't!
We'll do everything we can with caution.
Oh, this place ain't gonna last.
I don't know, man. Did you see the outside of that place? It might. This might be the one spot where our crew can't destroy.
Yeah. Well, the fact that, the tide comes in and out certainly helps.
Yeah.
You think it's a mistake not sending a team in right away?
Genet's ruthless.
Well, I act impulsively. We all die. That sometimes means resisting the urge to go on the offensive.
Sometimes you gotta be willing to throw the first punch.
Oh, I'd prefer to throw the last one.
I'm going to say everything opposite of you, Daryl.
How long are you intending to stay here?
How long is it gonna take you to find me another bride?
It's hard to know for sure, a bit.
I'll stay till then.
Good. You've been training Laurent.
Yeah, to defend himself.
It's become a distraction. Laurent is meant for much more.
More than staying alive.
Yes, actually. I worry about the impact of repeated violence on him. No offense. Everyone here has a place if they choose to seek it out. I hope you'll find yours here too.
Hey, y'all, we're back in Fantasyland.
Oh, that's great. Good timing. Good timing. I mean, clearly this guy hasn't learned from the previous 11 seasons.
Well, I mean, and I get with Laurent, you're not going to send him into the front lines to take on walkers, but he should be capable to at least defend himself a little.
I just don't see how anyone destroys that place.
Yeah.
Well, humans or zombies.
Yeah.
Humans, yes.
Says I'm too violent.
Maybe what Losang means is that now that we're here, he needs something else from you.
I don't know if this is the place I'm supposed to be.
You don't think you could be happy here?
Do you?
Yeah. Think you could?
Well, I mean, that's depends.
Fair. Well, that's fair
I
for
keep
her.
thinking about all the people I left behind.
Like Rick.
Wondering if they're still thinking about
Carol.
me.
Here we go.
There's Carol. I love the musics.
Yeah.
I wonder if, of course, she's riding in on the bike.
Did she go back for the guy in the trunk?
Probably not. He's probably toast.
Ooh, getting Terminus vibes here. Carol doing some scouting.
Hello, I'm a friendly.
Turning on the charm.
Buddy of mine. Got this bike from you guys, thought maybe you could help fix it.
You mixed lady?
What about the guy that had it before Mick? Is he around? Maybe he can help.
Ah, Carol, you're so smart.
Y'all know who had that bike before Mick? It was that guy who got mixed up with Juno. Dixon.
What an asshole.
Oh, she saw the crossbow.
Yep.
Do you know where he is? I mean, we really need to have this thing looked at.
He was a piece of shit anyway.
Easy now. Keep your hands down.
Five
It's like
guys.
five guys. One arrow, one bolt.
You gonna shoot, bitch?
Anybody else want a limp?
Anybody else want a limp?
Where is he? Where's my friend?
Oh,
I was waiting for.
yeah.
Where is he?
They got themselves thrown on a goddamn boat.
To where?
Big boat.
To France, okay? He bought himself a free European vacation.
Who owns the boat?
Some French guys came looking for American walkers. Rounded them up, paid us, end story.
I mean, it does sound ridiculous hearing it now.
It's the only boat we've seen in years.
Too bad about your tire.
That's yours? About a mile up the road. Here's an old Dodge. Your buddy Mick is in the trunk.
Ah, there we go.
Probably got about an hour's worth of air left. Give or take.
Yeah, I'm glad they came back to that. 'Cause
Yeah.
typically, we've seen them never acknowledge some stuff again. So good on you, writers. I will say that was interesting, folks, with the setup. 4 or 5 guys, three to 5 guys, music playing with the gates wide open in zombie apocalypse. What could go wrong? It's pretty Dyer-esque. It's a cool shot with the drone. Oh, I kind of forgot about an intro.
Yeah, same. I did like how we got a little taste of old Carol there, you know, doing her reconnaissance. She always knows what she's walking into. I really like that touch.
Cassette tapes.
Just trying to find something that works for her. Ah, of course it's stuck.
Fear. Start by centering yourself. Breath.
Wow, we haven't seen that out of Carol, where she loses her cool for a minute like that.
Simply brush any negative thoughts aside.
Oh! You could have just hit the brakes.
I don't think it was necessary to have that much of a dramatic reaction, but
driving like Laurie.
That was awesome. Freaking sideswiped. Woo! Could be like Clem, you know, right knee.
Yep.
Boom.
Oh,
Greg.
by Greg. Nice.
Greg, you were directing, eh?
Oh, the bunny set off the trap. Oh, watch the tripwire.
Help!
Oh, she is the perfect spy.
Quiet. You're gonna draw them. What are you doing? Snooping on my property.
I crashed my car. I realize you have no reason to help me. You seem like a really nice person, and I'd like to think that even still, we can rely on the kindness of strangers.
You alone? You swear?
Swear.
I'll get you fixed up. Then you go. One false move, I will shoot you.
How is she going to talk him into flying? Is Mike what?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Ash.
Well, you can just trust him.
Just trust Ash. Shout out symbolisms.
Problems with my generator. It happens from time to time.
Yeah, about getting that fixed.
Yeah. So is Carol
Good
gonna be
luck.
nice about it, or is she gonna force him?
I'm going to take an early prediction, and I don't think she's going to do any threatening. Maybe.
You can spend the night here if you want. You can stay out here in the barn.
This guy's got quite the setup here. Look how she keeps her distance.
Yep.
Oh, wow. I was not ready for that
was cool.
flashback.
Look at this.
Wow.
Just like in the trailer.
I'm glad they addressed it.
They reshot it. I was wondering if they're... Because this is all... Yep. This is crazy.
You okay?
That was cool.
Oh, wow. So, I want to fly to France.
You fly that thing?
The noise attracts the dead, but it's worth it.
Enjoy my radios. Oh, he did lock it. Okay, I was waiting for that.
Finally, a good night rest or sleep, probably.
Is there any chance you could help me with my car today? I crashed it about a half mile down the road at the drive-in.
I can take a look this afternoon. When I take my plane up at 3, I'll look for abandoned cars for parts to fix it up with. I never ventured too far.
You could go anywhere.
I have everything here.
Flying just a way to escape a little bit?
Oh, now we're going to find out something about him that's
Yeah,
going to change Carol's mind.
Yeah, because he was talking schedule. Who has a schedule in The Walking Dead?
Yeah, in the apocalypse.
Oh, okay, something going on in there.
The greenhouse? I mean, this place is pretty awesome that he's got here.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess why would you leave?
Why would you?
Stock up on drones, folks.
Yeah.
You never know.
And this is what he's probably doing too. Maybe always flying overhead for a perimeter search for the walkers.
Yep. Maybe draw them away.
Drawing them away. Now there goes the generator again. I do like how she's trying to calculate the flight already. Oh, shit. Oh, come on.
No.
Is this place going to get destroyed now?
It only happens as soon as Carol gets here.
The writers are like, we can't destroy that place where Daryl is, but we could sure as shit destroy this one.
This place that looks almost perfect.
What do we got over here? Oh, did he bury a loved one? His kid.
Huh. Reminds me of the scene from The Road Warrior.
Oh, is this a callback to her episode with Lizzie?
Boy, they are hitting Carol with everything this episode.
Of course. An absolute perfect place just getting destroyed.
Well, at least a lot of garden tools here to use.
Oh, man, that's a lot. That's actually pretty good for the most part,
Yeah,
but then you just got to watch your back.
Yeah, you're constantly having to pull it back together.
What the hell did you do?
Oh, of course. You're going to blame it on her.
Sure. Well, I got this.
I can finish up. Please just let me do it.
You had no right to come in here.
I'm so sorry. Nothing happened to the grave.
Nothing happened. Are you fucking kidding me?
Please just let me clean it up.
Fine. Get out.
So here's the thing, though. I need a ride to France.
Yeah, before I go, can you take me somewhere?
All the bodies are outside the perimeter now. I was curious about you. I just thought if I knew you better, maybe we could become friends. And that's something that I've been missing.
Friends aren't what I miss.
There's my kid.
His name was Avi Patel. He was 7 when he died. April 19th, 8:23 a.m.
Oh, was that his alarm? Yep.
I sit with him every morning, and I apologize for letting him wander off, for not protecting him like a parent is supposed to protect a child. I made a place for him here. His mom left when he was a baby, so it was all up to me. Avi loved planes. About a month after he died, I came across this crashed Beechcraft in a nearby field, so I brought it back one piece at a time. I found some manuals, and I figured out how to put it back together.
Oh, this poor guy. He's not making it out of the episode.
He probably would have if he didn't run into Carol.
He would have been fine.
You know, if it's okay with you, I'll head out in the morning.
I'm about to sit down for dinner, if you would like to join me.
I like that.
Look at all that acreage, man.
He's got all those natural rock formations kind of protecting the place.
Oh, you allergic?
Oh, it's the same flowers. Wow.
They represent hope, you know.
This rose started to grow
Cherokee
right where the
rose.
mother's tears fell. I believe this one. Bloom for your little girl.
Anyone waiting for you? Sorry. None of my business.
I was married. His name was Ed. It was a difficult marriage right from the get-go. Then our daughter Sophia came along.
So where's she now?
Right before the world turned upside down, Ed took Sophia to visit his aunt in Europe.
Oh, this is how she's gonna spin it.
Here's Sophia, barely 12.
Oh my God.
That's her angle. I can't believe it.
Playing on his emotions with the kid.
When everything happened, I tried to reach her. Never heard from her.
You don't need your car fixed. You want me to fly you to France to find you.
Well, now that you mention it.
That would work.
So you lied to me.
Well, depends on how you look
You
at
knew
it.
Avi was out there. Wouldn't you do anything, whatever it took to find him?
But he's not.
Well, that's a lie, too. I'm trying to find my friend Daryl.
I love how she plays the emotion, right? Because I know inside she's like, God damn it, I got to find another angle. But she's showing like dire emotion.
Yeah.
Of, like,
and she's tying a little bit of truth in with her lies.
I do like how this episode's focusing on a little more Carol here.
Mm-hmm.
Which, season 2, book of Carol, right?
Genet's transporting them from Maison Mare to another facility in a few days. Mathis's team will intercept the transport. I understand you want to help, but we're a pacifist movement. We resist violence.
Same here.
This is a Joe. We use it training for Aikido. I'm not using it as a weapon. I'm using it to prepare in case I might need a weapon. Bring our people here safely. Care to go around?
Not with that toothpick.
Are we?
Oh,
interesting.
I thought he was maybe gonna.
God, that was a switch of the character for me right there, man. Like, it's okay, we're cool.
Yep.
But hey, do you want to go?
You want to go around?
I don't condone violence, but
I would do anything to find Avi. I mean, what parent wouldn't? Would you search for him? Would you give up everything to look for somebody you haven't met?
If there was hope of finding them alive, then yes.
We're talking about flying a plane across the ocean with no communication, no weather forecast, no idea what's waiting on the other side.
I couldn't do nothing.
Why now?
Why not?
Couldn't keep waiting. I had to move forward. I had to try.
See, there's truth in what she's saying. It's just about Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it works.
Hop in. We have work to do. I think we should head north, hugging the coast, pit stop in Greenland maybe. Minimize our time over the open sea. We could switch out the ethanol tanks there.
How are we going to get enough for such a long trip? We made all this?
I've got a lot of time on my hands.
This guy's poor, perfect life, and Carol's gonna ruin it.
I know. It's for the greater good. We got to get Daryl.
That's true.
Well, I have an address for Ed's aunt, where they were staying.
Oh,
it's right there. She may not even still be alive.
But she could be. I'm glad you still have that.
Carol's starting to feel bad.
Slightly.
Got the other fuel line connected.
You sure you want to do this?
Well, yeah. Then we don't have to stop and refuel.
No, I mean the whole thing. Leave this place. Leave Avi.
Just giving him an out.
Yeah. But he's excited about having a goal, I think.
When Avi died, I didn't leave the house for months. And when I did, I found the plane. It saved me. If you're not moving forward, then you're dying.
But you can tell in just how his character's changed that now that he's got a goal.
Yep.
Convoy should be here shortly. First truck will trigger the explosion, just enough to blow out different tires. Elodie and Winston will clip the first vehicle busy while we go to the transport truck.
These guys are all done too.
Oi. Red shirts. Red
We should move
shirts.
the ceremony up. You'll never win them over. Certainly not the American.
Oh boy.
The boy's not ready.
He's not, or you're not.
These ulterior motives going on here.
We're not.
The storm's coming in fast.
Oh, a lot of stuff gonna go wrong here.
What do you think she's into now?
I don't know. I do wonder.
You think you'll recognize her?
So much I don't know.
Gosh, I wonder if... Ooh, lightning strike.
And here we go.
Oh! That's not good. What are the odds?
Ethanol.
Should really change that lock to something that doesn't depend on electricity.
Exactly.
But then we wouldn't have a show.
The plane's gonna catch. We're gonna fly out of here.
Told you this place wasn't gonna last.
Now, I do like how it wasn't just because of Carol. It was Mother Nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a plus. How crazy would it be if Daryl Dixon introduces Clem or Javi?
It didn't blow.
Called an audible.
There's one.
Oh.
Well, this...
I like how we're...
Episode 1?
We're getting the back and forth here.
I've never been up in one of these before.
Grab the crowbar. And
we're going back and forth faster.
Hey, there he is.
All right. Is that Genet?
Yep.
Now's your chance, Daryl.
I should have known. And just always send the most vicious demon to do their dirty work.
No way is she ending in episode 1.
And here you are.
No way.
I would. Oh.
I don't believe Daryl was going to do it.
He was gonna.
He wasted way too much time.
Their dud of an explosion finally went off.
Nice.
Oh, into the prop. Hope that didn't damage anything. Oh boy. We really gonna get the meat grinder here?
I think so. Not the wings!
Oh. Okay, it was only a handful.
I mean, still, who would want to risk the damage?
Just center yourself. Take a deep breath in and out.
Sounded just like the guy in the cassette. Maybe they'll run into Sun up there from Black Summer.
Doubtful.
Oh, wow. That was fast.
All right.
Oh, what an episode. And folks, I don't know about you, but it feels so good to be back. Just right off the bat, before we even talk about storyline or anything like that, I don't know what it is about this show in particular, the Daryl Dixon series, where it just feels different. The landscape, I know they're in France, obviously, but the way the landscape is shot, the way the characters are shot, just the camera angles they do, it feels so different in such a good way. I mean, this, like, where was this quality for all those years during Fear the Walking Dead? I mean, this is such a good show, and I don't know if it's because we're mostly only focusing on Carol and Daryl, but we do have a lot of secondary characters that have come along for the ride, so to speak, that has been a lot of fun. So I just want to hear from you guys, because I'm having a hard time putting my finger on exactly what it is, whether it's the set design, the costumes, the lighting, the camera work, but there's something about this show that to me just feels next level compared to even what the regular Walking Dead series was. So I wanted to get that out of the way right off the bat. Now let's kind of shift into the show, I guess. The idea of Daryl being safe in what is essentially a castle surrounded by water, I think is real interesting because, in Europe, as opposed to the United States, they have all these castles and fortresses and things like that lend themselves pretty well to being safe from walkers. So I think that's such an interesting take on it. And that it's like, well, are they going to be safe here? Is this place going to survive? And I'm kind of with you, Diamond Dave. I think that it'll probably be all right, provided there's not like some major firepower coming at them, whether that be cannons or whatever. But it's a very unique setting to have access to all those things from an era that's so long ago, yet it's all of a sudden useful again. I liked that. Man, the stuff they did with Carol this episode, where she's finally had to come to grips on screen for us with all the trauma and stuff she's been through, the fact she brought up Ed, the fact we had the flashbacks of season 1, Sophia coming out of the barn. I mean, that was such a huge moment. I don't know about you, but some of those earlier episodes, I can remember where I was watching them, and we're talking 10 plus years. It's just wild to me. So I'm so glad they did that. And we're still getting more character development out of Carol, who's been around since season 1, and it's It's a testament to Melissa McBride able to portray it. It's a testament to the writers able to give us something. I realize I probably sound like I'm like super glowing of the episode, but what's not to love? I thought it was awesome. And we see the spot that Daryl's in, which I find real interesting. Does he stay? Does he go? He's got, I guess we'd say potential love interest. Oak would be mad at me saying it's a guarantee.
Sister Sylvie.
But so then there's that. And I'm just blown away by how good this show truly is. And we're kind of getting the setup here, right? The logistics are there.
Isabel. Sorry.
Yeah, Isabel. Yeah. They kind of answered some of the, I guess what a lot of us thought maybe the aviation questions of, are they actually able to fly to France with this little single engine plane? Is it possible? They showed that our guy had tons of ethanol he was making. Hey, I got nothing but time on my hands. So I really liked that. But so I just wanted to give kind of my quick overview and then kick it over to Dave. And then I thought maybe we could bounce some ideas back and forth.
No, don't get me wrong, there's some extra cheese in this episode, but I still enjoyed it. It's great to be back in the Walking Dead world, especially getting caught back up with Carol. So I'm glad that most of this episode was focused on Carol, so that way we can get a little catch up, even though it was just picking up into the now more so than, right. Did we miss any time, since all the main focus, obviously, in season 1 was obviously about Daryl. So it was nice to have the majority of episode with Carol. Yeah, so the other dynamic here, too, with Daryl and Losang, I thought that was an interesting dynamic, because we're not going on the offensive. We won't do anything until we need to, paraphrasing, of course. But then we get kicked to his training, and he was whooping some ass, and then, him and Daryl basically almost had the same conversation of, well, we're not going to be aggressive here. Well, Daryl's like, well, when are you going to be? When the time's right.
I like that they showed he has the ability, just not the desire to.
Yep, and he was, he's well trained.
Almost kind of like Cheeseman.
Yeah, Cheeseman. Which he's well trained, which is great. But then when Daryl started walking away, he's like, well, do you want to go around? And Daryl's, not with that toothpick. And then just drops it, and then you can hear him whipping some ass a little bit, or at least that was what's implied, right, with the sound. So their dynamic is getting interesting, and especially seeing, because we watched a little bit of a season 2 trailer, or what's to come in season 2. It's good. I wonder if the woman, if they're setting up the woman to be more of some kind of antagonist, and he's just in the middle.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to balance her, but with what he's been trying to preach.
Yeah, because that last shot they showed with those two, I thought was real interesting. It was the lighting was different, the sound was different. It was made to give you the vibes of that he's not necessarily some kind of who he's portraying himself
devious
to be. Right.
Planning going on.
Done on purpose.
Yep, so that was pretty cool too. Not much of Isabel in this one, but that's okay, because I just assume that we're going to get some catch up with Isabel as we progress. Yep. With Avi and his story, very interesting. I'm glad they didn't...
Or Ash.
Right. Ash, sorry, I was thinking of his kid.
Yeah.
Ash, with the way his story has been, I'm kind of glad they didn't do the, and no offense to Angela Kang, but her format was getting pretty close to some action here in the middle. Now we're going to get introduced to a new character. They're going to give us some sob story, and then we're going to axe them, and then Act 3, we're off and running, right? Here, they did a pretty consistent, I felt like it was just here. It wasn't just here's just some red shirt, and then immediately into a horrible backstory of, and I mean horrible as in like tragedy.
Tragedy. Not that it wasn't.
Not horrible. I should use my words differently. But for Ash, they kept him pretty even keel, I thought. Mm-hmm. Beautiful land Ash had. Yeah. We always make the joke here that once our group shows up to a new place, it's usually destroyed. Technically, that kind of happened here, but it wasn't totally on Carol because Mother Nature took its course.
I mean, what are the odds?
Just wiped it out. Now, you could probably say, that was probably a little much with the lightning just, trickling over. But hey, some weird stuff does happen with lightning, as you all know. So,
well, they did show they were high up, elevated. Mm-hmm. They had a tower. He had the window.
It was primo spot for if you live in any apocalypse, that's a primo spot. Yep. I'm kind of jealous of the acreage that he had. Otherwise, with how they're gonna. I'm wondering how they're gonna get the kid involved a little bit more. I know they're trying to usher him in, right? Because that was one of the plots for season 1. So I'm kind of curious if he's just gonna get like forced in, and then because he's so young, will he stay his cool, calm, collective way as he's growing up, or will he end up live long enough to see yourself become the villain kind of thing?
Well, I think it depends on what Losang and company want to do with him. They're saying he's essentially the Messiah, right? He's like the second coming. That's kind of Laurent's story. But, what does that actually mean? What do they want to do with them? Is this something where they want
more than just a prophet?
Yeah, like do they want his blood? Do they look at him as a possible cure? Those are questions that we still need answered on. What does everybody have for an objective with Laurent?
That's what the one character made it seem like. It's just more than just a prophet kind of thing.
Right.
So
right. And huge shout out to the writers for working with, for giving Ash something to work with in such a limited time frame that he had to introduce a character, tell his story, make us feel a certain way about him. They had to do all that in a very limited time. So shout out to them, and of course, Manish, the actor. I hope I got his name right, portraying that. But
Lady Genet. That's the one thing I was kind of picking. I was kind of grinning at because it's like we've seen Daryl learn from his lessons. He's been through some. I mean, they all been through some tough shit, but I know he was trying to show off like, hey, here we go, your time's now.
Yep.
But I feel like Daryl probably could have just went, like that and been done with it. But I love it because, now we got a cat and mouse, right? So she got away because of the delay in that timer.
The explosion.
I am kind of digging that a little bit. So I'm excited to see how their dynamic's going to play now.
But I did think the way that Daryl was doing it, she was a major villain, right? So I don't think he was going to have
savor the moment,
just the bring it up, take her out like any other villain. I think there was a little more gravity to that situation. So if there was a delay there, I think that's probably why. So I was fine with it because I like how Daryl was going to do it. He was unloading the shotgun. He was getting ready to go, and he was completely going to do it.
Hey, and good for Lady Genet there, right? Because she was do it. So, and then of course, like I said, timely death. She saw her opportunity and bolted.
And she bolted. But so I love where they're going with this episode, kind of what they're setting us up for. I mean, obviously we've seen from the trailer, we know that Carol and Ash make it, but under what circumstances? They talked about having a stopover in Greenland to refuel or whatever. So that'll be interesting to see how that works.
Can't wait to see that scenery.
Oh, exactly.
But he got some good shots.
The one scene that I wanted to talk about that I didn't want us to forget was the scene with Carol rolling up to the compound, essentially, where the 5 guys were there working on vehicles. That's where they got the fuel.
3 to 5.
And for anybody who's seen 48 Hours with Eddie Murphy, that's what Diamond Dave and I were referencing. There's a scene with Eddie Murphy who shoots a guy in the leg and says, "Anybody else want to live?"
Another 48 hours.
Or another 48 hours. Yeah. So it's a great scene, and that's what I thought of. But Carol's, I guess you'd say, not believing the story they were telling about a ship coming over from France. I think she had the same reaction maybe a lot of us did when we first heard about this series. Like, how's Daryl going to get to France? What do you mean he takes a boat? There's no shipping going on in the apocalypse. So I like that her reaction was kind of similar to what the audience might have had. And again, the camera shots they did with the overheads in this episode where she goes to the beach, she sees all the crashed out boats that are, ships, boats, whatever, that are no good. And the shots they used in here really did a good job of telling a story. So you didn't need to use dialogue or actors or whatever. The setting and the scenery could tell you the story.
Yeah, and real quick, the Sophia scene, I'm glad we got finally, from what I can remember in this moment right now, where Carol had some flashbacks to that moment, because that was a pretty dramatic, traumatizing, emotional scene back in season 2. So I'm glad we get to see inside of her psyche a little bit of like, oh man, that door just totally reminded me, because ever since season 2, it's been just pedal to the metal for Carol, and we really haven't seen too much. I know she's referenced Ed here, Sophia there, but to actually see a flashback like this, I'm glad Greg Nicotero and crew got that in here for the script so we could see.
Yeah, because it was never
takes us
really-
back too.
Yeah, because it was never really done in a way before that it deeply affected her. And you called it out too, and maybe we'll need some help from the folks, but the music box playing You Are My Sunshine, if that was a callback to Lizzie and Company at the Grove.
I'm sorry, I should clarify. So like that shot of, that's where my mind went, because in the opening of that episode where, look at the flowers, Lizzie, it starts opening with them starting in the kitchen and kind of pulling back, and then you see Lizzie playing again, Ring Around Rosie or whatever it was with the walker.
The window. Yeah.
And then when we saw her standing there with the walker walking with the dirty window, I was like, oh, is that kind of like a homage-ish to that episode? But I could be wrong. It could be just me reflecting back to it.
But, I mean, either way, they did a fantastic job this episode with callbacks, with making you remember things from earlier seasons. So I thought it was great, and it's going to be fascinating to see where we go here with Daryl, what he ends up deciding to do. He said he's going to stay there as long as it takes him to get another ride. And obviously, let's see how long before Daryl and Carol's paths intersect here, because I think it's going to be great. Again, I want to hear from you folks what you thought about the episode, what you think makes this series different, because I can't put my finger on it, but
it's definitely the quality of the
quality
of the what they're using for cameras now.
Yeah.
It seems like they do have and it's 6 episodes too, so they really have to focus in on a lot now. It has to stay tight. So all those little things too with production, I think, help make what this that different vibe and feel are, because now instead of a huge group, we're only focusing on really 2 main characters, maybe 3 depending on how you look at it, and then we got all the secondary actors that they don't need too much, but they're part of what we're trying to produce here. So
yeah, and again, the setting obviously lends itself great. I know we talked about it in season 1, but the settings are absolutely gorgeous, if not for being in the apocalypse, but they still come out all right. And it's just such a unique dynamic, having walls, having castles, medieval weapons, different types of firearms that we're not used to seeing on the show. I think it's fantastic, and I can't wait for episode 2.
We will see you next week. Well, we'll probably see you sooner, but next week for Daryl Dixon and the Book of Carol.
And hopefully we're back at full strength. So for Diamond Dave, I'm Mason Quinn. This has been Bad Medicine. That was Daryl, the Book of Carol, episode 1. We'll see you guys on the next one.